All right, so I'm going to tell you about the absolutely true diary of a part-time Indian. I tried to talk about this before, and it didn't sound nearly as hilarious. I think I way undersold it, so I did a new video. All right, so this is about this kid who is Native American, and he lives on a reservation with his family, and his family's pretty messed up, and many families on the reservation are. Junior, who's the main character, actually injures his teacher. I can't tell you how, you'll find out. At the beginning of the book, and then surprisingly, ironically, his teacher tells him that, Junior, look, you're really smart, and I think that you should go to a school that's going to help you to, like, you know, meet your plans and goals. And he does, and there's all sorts of stuff that happens. There's some racial tension issues in there. There's some family tragedy in there, but there's a lot of laughter. I'm going to read you something funny from it because, again, I feel like I'm not doing it justice. But there's also, like, he's an artist, so there's a lot of pictures, you know, probably like every 3 to 4 pages. There's pictures that he draws, so they're like right in there with the text. That's a drawing of his mom and dad. All right, so I'm going to read this part to you. I was born with water on the brain. Okay, that's not exactly true. I was born with too much cerebral spinal fluid inside my skull. But cerebral spinal fluid is just the doctor's fancy way of saying brain grease. And brain grease works inside the lobes like car grease works inside an engine. It keeps things running smooth and fast. But weirdo me, I was born with too much grease inside my skull. And it got all thick and muddy and disgusting, and it only mucked up the words. My thinking and breathing and living engine slowed down and flooded. My brain was drowning in grease. But that makes the whole thing sound weirdo and funny, like my brain was a giant French fry, so it seems more serious and poetic and accurate to say I was born with water on the brain. Okay, so maybe that's not a very serious way to say it either, but the whole thing is weird and funny. But did my mother and father and big sister and grandma and cousins and aunts and uncles think it was funny when the doctors cut open my little skull and sucked out all that extra water with some tiny vacuum? I was only 6 months old, and I was supposed to croak during the surgery. And even if I somehow survived the mini Hoover, I was supposed to suffer serious brain damage during the procedure and live the rest of my life as a vegetable. While I obviously survived the surgery, I wouldn't be writing this if I didn't. But I have all sorts of physical problems that are directly the result of my brain damage. First of all, I ended up having 42 teeth. The typical human has 32, right? But I had 42. 10 more than usual. 10 more than normal. 10 teeth past human. So, alright, it's pretty guttery. So, that's the absolutely true diary of part-time Indian. I'm telling you, students who hate reading love this book. It's laugh out loud funny, and you'll be actually showing people, oh my gosh, you gotta read this part. I left some of the juicier parts for you, just wanted to give you a flavor. See ya.